Most of us believe we get paid for our intelligence or our effort. We actually get paid because of how slowly information moves. This chart illustrates the arbitrage gap. It shows the space between what it actually costs to produce something and the much higher price the market is willing to pay for it. In the 1980s, a machine shop owner could buy a computerized lathe, hide it in the back room, and produce precision parts in 45 minutes. When the client came to pick up the parts, the machinist would smile, hand over the perfectly milled metal, and bill them for 10 hours of manual labor. The machinist pocketed the massive surplus. Right now, millions of knowledge workers are running the exact same playbook. You fire up a language model, finish 3 days of coding or drafting in 3 hours, and quietly enjoy your afternoon while billing for the full week. Past technologies took decades to slowly narrow inefficiencies. AI models are crushing that price line down to the cost of compute in weeks. On prediction markets, the window to capitalize on mispriced information collapsed from 12 down to 2.7 seconds. One specific trading bot exploited those tiny pricing lags on autopilot. While humans slept, it turned $300 into over $400,000 in 30 days. Corporate leadership sees this happening. Executives no longer view human execution as the engine of value. They see it as an expensive bottleneck to delete. Effort no longer equals value. If you keep pretending to hand-mill your spreadsheets and write every line of code from scratch, you'll be priced out of the market entirely. The most common reaction to this pressure is to chase raw intelligence. We obsess over benchmark scores, assuming that subscribing to the smartest model will secure our jobs. But a language model is essentially a brain floating in a jar. It has no persistent memory. It doesn't know your company's history. Every time you open a new chat window, it wakes up with total amnesia. To actually get work done, that intelligence needs a body. We call that body a harness. The harness controls what tools the AI can touch, how it coordinates multi-step tasks, and what it remembers when you close your laptop. Different harnesses make opposing assumptions about how you work. One operates like a sealed cleanroom, taking a batch of your files, thinking privately, and sliding the results under the door. Another sits directly in your terminal, acting as an embedded collaborator that reads your live environment. Vendor lock-in has changed. Now you are committing your entire team's workflow to a specific architecture of memory and organization. That harness dictates how your intelligence layer functions for years to come. Even if you build the perfect harness, letting the machine execute on autopilot is dangerous. When an AI handles a complex task start to finish, the errors it makes aren't obvious typos. This image represents the hundreds of overlapping variables in sports modeling. A novice will look at an AI forecast here and see it as flawless, but an expert immediately spots the subtle structural flaws hidden in that remaining 17% of the output. This is where your actual value lives. The prompts you type into a chat box are disposable. The real asset is your ability to look at decent AI output and confidently reject it. You can't just quietly fix the machine's mistakes. You must articulate exactly why it failed and encode that domain expertise back into the system's rules. Modern taste functions as a scalable library of encoded constraints. It turns your individual judgment into a permanent system that distinguishes your results from commodity slop. This flowchart shows where your career must go. As generating code and documents plummets to zero, value migrates from production straight up to judgment and system design. Upstream work abandons typing speed. It relies on deep domain judgment, comprehending complex systems, and human trust. You can no longer justify your salary by showing how many widgets you produced today. Your proof of work has to be your ability to architect intelligent workflows that accurately capture human intent. To audit your workflow and start logging that proof, check out the Open Brain Guide and Talent Board on my Substack. They're built specifically to help you navigate this transition. The intelligence gap is going to continuously reshape the economy. Do not let it arbitrage you out of your livelihood. Use it to build your way upstream.